Huh?
Yeah.
What we got here?
That has turned into Joe's job.
Yeah. That's right.
Did
we have this last time?
I don't think so.
Spell check it. Spell check it. Spell check it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, we good? We ready?
We're good. Let's go.
Okay. Episode 74, Jason Vanlandingham.
All right.
Oh man,
Nice.
All right. As always, we got Gunny Matheson, Joe Schmidt, and our good friend Jason Vanlandingham.
Well, we just had to have you back here because you've been winning everything lately. I know you've been on the show 40 times. People are probably tired of looking at you, but
And
So welcome.
yeah,
and he can't turn down the money.
that's it.
the money's too good, huh?
Yeah, the
We
money's.
just discussed how the money's really good.
Yeah.
Fresh
The pasta
off.
was good tonight, though.
Oh, yeah.
No, dinner worked out good. Last minute,
Mandy,
Mandy's creation.
Mandy nailed dinner.
Pasta and cookies. I mean, she's handy.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
She's handy.
But
Well-
nice if there was some milk over there for the cookies, but whatever.
Joe took it all.
There was milk. I mean, but you kind of got
That's
all
true.
weird
Yeah,
with
because you
that
were dipping it and
dunking.
yeah,
Okay.
messing it all up.
Everyone out there, is it okay? Like dipping chocolate chip cookies in milk's totally acceptable.
100%.
100%.
Jason has trouble with that.
The
so.
problem of it is I like to drink the milk, and whenever I look down, there's all these things floating around in the milk.
But it's just cookies, dude. It's
Yeah, but
not
those are like little
Nuggets.
extra presents.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
No, I don't like that at all, and it drives. That's one thing that my wife does that kind of just like, do we really need to do that? Especially if I'm sitting here. If you want to go dip your milk in your cookies,
She didn't
There's
have a
cookies
cookie
in your
tonight.
milk.
What's going on, yo, Adrian? You no cookies?
yeah,
No milk?
Yeah, but that's her. She
You were
does
being
it.
shy in public.
And I really thought that nobody else in the world did that, and then we're sitting there at the table, and
Yeah.
Like
Adrian's
pretty
like,
much everybody else in the world
Look at
does
you.
that. Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah, like
does it. Yeah,
everybody.
I just don't do it because we're in Tom and Mandy's house. Joe's comfortable doing it. Joe comes in here when they're gone to raid their fridge.
Yeah.
They could be out
Yeah.
of town and he wants to see what leftovers they have.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally
It-
acceptable.
If I come home and my chocolate chip ice cream is, Joe,
Oh, yeah.
what are you doing?
Joe, you owe me a pint.
It's kind of funny thinking that Gunny's not comfortable at your house because normally he doesn't even have shoes on.
I don't have
guess he's
shoes
got
on.
flip flops on tonight.
It's still
but,
flip flop weather. We got another month of flip flop weather.
yeah.
Huh? Well, you're here fresh off of winning the Derby at the 100X. Fresh off of winning the Run for the Million for the second time. I mean, only person to win the Triple Crown twice on a horse, and now the only person to win the Run for the Million twice. I mean,
Yeah, the million.
pretty good. That's pretty good, Jason. Pretty good at
and
this.
it was undisputed. I mean, it was clean. It was good. I mean, you were the clear winner. I don't think there was any question about it.
I was I was extremely happy for that horse because you guys are all aware of what I did to him back in March at the American. He had his night, and I
You
can't-
ruined it.
I did.
You
I ruined it for him. That's
right.
So you take
How many times did you spend that night?
Exactly 3 1/4.
We were not going to make fun of you tonight either. It was
Yeah.
just going to be the Pat to Jason on the back show, but
It was rough.
you opened that door.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that was what made it, I think, a little bit more special for me anyhow, was just trying to get
Redemption.
something back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, that horse has been second a lot in his career. Way back when Brian had him at the futurity, second there. And then, I'm second at the Derby.
Second at the Derby,
Second at
yep.
the 100X deal, second at the shootout.
Yep.
Second a lot of different times. And then he has that deal wrapped up in March. He wins it under all 5 cards if I spend the correct amount of times. And so that one had been eating on me all year long. But it did give me some confidence because we were facing a lot of those same horses
Yeah.
at the Million. I thought, you know what? It was the reverse of last year. Last year, everybody was saying, you should be showing Going to be big time. He's been beating Best Shine all year long. And then this year, Best Shine, he's pretty dang locked in and has the look that he has. And you and I had the conversation.
I thought you were going to show Best Shine.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
you said you won more money on Big Time, so you thought he deserved the shot.
Well, no, I'd qualified on him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
I'd qualified on him, and the year before, the only reason I didn't show him, because he was right last year at the Million, and the only reason I didn't show him there was because I qualified on Best Shine, so I thought I needed to do the same thing for him this year, and it worked out.
Oh, not to put you on the spot, but I did have a few friends of mine in the office today stop by, And they wanted to know if you were going to show best shot at the Run for the Million next year after qualifying on him.
So actually, that horse is now at the breeding barn, and they're going to kind of leave that up to me for next year. They said if he feels 100% and you feel like he's going to give you a shot, then they would like for me to go on him. And if they say, please go on him, I'm going to go on him because we qualified on him.
Yeah.
And if they say, you know what, your sorrow horse is there, you probably should go show him, which he already did tell me that, then we'll go that route. But if he comes back next year and I'm going to be showing the sorrow horse all year long at the other majors, if he stays healthy for me, then
How old is he?
he's a 4-year-old. So if he
He's
stays-
talking about the one he won the 100X on now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if we have a chance to, show him at all the majors, if anything starts feeling loose and Best Shine has been just hanging out all year and going to school and shows and he's ready to go, then we'll go that route. So I don't know. I mean, I've always known exactly what we're going to do, but once they go to the breeding barn, it kind of presents a new challenge sometimes. So
Yeah. Well, and then following that, you win the 100X Derby on the Colonel Shine and Gun. You're a 231.5 and pretty clear-cut winner there also in my book. I don't know if you guys watched it, but, I mean, you could have marked them whatever you wanted, stopping and turning. You could have been +1, +1.5 on every one of those maneuvers.
yeah, that's a special horse.
Like, how could you find a horse like that?
So it's a pretty interesting story, really. I'm out looking for a horse last year. All the horses that Emma had been slated to show at the futurity, the little gray horse, he had gotten had to have a procedure done on his leg, and so we're not thinking she's going to have a futurity horse at all. You guys that know us know that she works like a grown man all day, every day, and does the homeschool thing, and she's not on the payroll. I mean, she puts in her time, and so I was hunting for her horse, something that whenever I called my good buddy up, I said, hey, I need something that after she shows at the futurity, we can sell him and get our money back out of it.
And I remember specifically telling you that I know where their one is, and I've told Tom McCutcheon about it first, but you can call Parker and go try it. Didn't I say something about I told
think you
Tom
said,
about it?
I don't know if you said that, but you said, give me 2 minutes. And then you called right back, and you said, I think I know where there's one at. Yes, go look at this horse. And you said,
I didn't tell Tom at all, did I?
Yeah,
I
you
didn't
shouldn't.
say one word to Tom.
I'm so thankful that you didn't. So by far the most money that we'd ever spent on a horse, not even close. But whenever you told me about him, you're just like, this thing he's a dirty good stopper.
Yeah.
And so I go try him out, and at Parker's that day, the ground was real deep. This thing didn't stick a foot in the ground. And he was real elevated and kind of hopping around in the turnaround. I'm like, what are we doing here? And so I call you back up, and you're like, believe me, it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to spend a little time, and Parker's been going through a little bit of a spot on him, but it's in there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna roll with it because I trust you. And sure enough, I pulled him into our driveway after we bought him. I loped a few circles on him. I turned the corner, ran down through there, and he wadded up in a ball. And I was like, "Yeah, buddy."
He did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was legit. So it was. He's special, and he was so unfamiliar with our program and the things that we wanted him to do that he was nowhere ready to go to the futurity. And she won the youth futurity on him, and gives them all they want if she doesn't have a bobble in the go around.
Yeah.
She kind of cruised through on him, and then coming back this year, he's still real green in some spots. And I showed him in the spring there in Tulsa, and he marked a pretty good score. And then he's just been climbing and climbing and climbing. But his talent's always been there. It's just him figuring out when to do stuff and how
Getting
to do
broke
it.
enough.
Yep.
Every time I see your daughter, I ask her if she's showing her horse at this horse show since then. And she says, no, Dad's showing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a little stutter like that. Like,
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
Let's just keep doing that.
Yeah. Well, the big thing on that horse is he really does. He kind of suits my deal, and he fits what I'm after. And she's got that good little mare that is 5-year-old now that suits her really good. So she's got a good scamp to go show. So.
Oh, and that was a talented horse. But I told you that day that you bought him. There's some stuff you're gonna have to see through. That you're gonna have to train some stuff. But it was in there, and
Yeah.
I mean he's proven it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you had PTSD from the last one you tried that didn't stop, that you didn't buy.
Yeah. Well, that has happened. Yeah, I made a major mistake on one this year. So the confidence that I got in that one, spent a little more than I've ever, not a little more, a ton more than we've ever spent on a horse. And I saw a video of one that I thought was special this year, a 3-year-old, and it was right before the NRBC, and I didn't have time to go out there. We're fixing to go to a horse show, and so I just trust the video, and this thing showed up, and as good of a deal as yours was, this has been that bad of a deal. So anyhow, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. No,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've tried to sell you that one yet, but I will.
Yeah, but you
me a little time.
you would do good on it though. It's just
Yeah.
not the horse for me. You would do good on it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Well, so I actually been dying to ask you this because you've had so much success lately. I think it's kind of fitting. You've taken a few horses that I don't think everybody would have won a major event on, and you've won multiple major events on them. What's your key to success? What's your trick to keeping Best Shine so good so long? I mean, he's 6 or 7 years old and looks like he's never been showed. What's your trick to marking 220s on 3-year-olds that you don't love?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me, my whole training deal has always been about the horse being confident in what I'm asking them to do. So they may not have to be great at it, but they have to understand what I'm asking, and they have to do it right when I ask them to. And then once they have that, then their natural talent can take over.
Yeah.
And maybe you have a horse that's not supernaturally talented, but he goes and because he's on time and you're one-handed on a 3-year-old in the bridle in this time of the year, then you can go mark some decent scores on stuff that maybe you don't love. And the horse that you're talking about is gaining like crazy too.
Good.
Like he's going to be there at the end of the year.
Good. Well, we had Trevor Brazil here, and I asked him that same question. I don't know if you remember, but he was just at my place looking at a horse, and it reminded me. And I asked him, I said, what makes you so good at this? Why do you get to go to the ropings and show up, and you're better than everybody? And his words were, it's because he puts him in more difficult spots at home than he does at the horse show.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it related to me because we just got back from Tulsa where I was not wildly successful like you were. And I've been petting this thing too much, been dancing around everything. So since then, I've been putting my horse in more difficult situations at home, trying to make it easier for me to go to the Congress and be successful. I didn't know if you try to do that or.
I don't really. I mean, at the house, we long trot them to warm them up, and then I jump on and I go to work, and 15, 20 minutes, I'm done with those things. Yeah. But in those 15,
I've been doing
20
that too.
minutes,
And
yeah.
I told Kade, I'm going to do it like Jason. I'm going to walk, trot, low for 5 minutes, then ride him for 15, and then I'm done.
Well, the thing about it is,
I'm not doing it just like you, though, because I have no idea what you're doing. And I don't think it's working either, but I'm trying anyway.
when you walk into a show pen, you're in there for 5 minutes, and everything's happening fairly fast.
Yeah.
So that's how I train.
Yeah.
Things are happening fast. My horses they're not stressed out by that. It's what they do every day.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big part of it.
You are kind of doing what Trevor said then. I mean, you are putting him in a tough spot at home and making it easy. Maybe not on purpose. Maybe you don't even notice you're doing it, but maybe you kind of are, I imagine.
Yeah, and it's not crashing and banging. I think that takes the confidence out of them. I want a horse to be extremely confident, and so you can't crash and bang. But whenever you tell them to do something, you expect it to do it the right way. There you go.
That's where I
Take it
went
down.
wrong.
Crash.
There
Crash
was a
and bang.
lot of crashing and banging since Tulsa. I got
Will
to
you
stop.
show
the
him how
banging.
to spell banging?
Does it have a G on the end, or does it just finish with an I-N?
But everybody has stuff that works for them. And, Tom and I have talked about this. You have some people that, like I'm at a horse show and I've ridden 3 horses and Tom's walking his around still. And then he'll lope wild and he'll walk. and that works for Tom. You know, that's his program.
It hasn't been working
not
that
really.
great either. So
Where
what-
he's taking notes too. He's just not being as obvious about it, I guess.
and I guess a lot of us do the same thing, but you know, Adrian's going to be sitting on a horse and Emma's going to be sitting on a horse, so mine are going to get that walk around time too. But whenever my backside hits the seat, then it gets serious, and they can have a break after that. But you know, it always comes down to horsepower, though. You can do all of the stuff that I'm doing, all the stuff you're doing, and you guys are doing. And if you got a dink, you got a dink.
Yeah.
And if you've got one that can do it, they
It
can
don't
do
matter.
it.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that's how different people show up in the winner's circle that haven't been there before us, because there's just sometimes a good horse just overcomes all of it.
And
But-
I've had 3 special ones this year. You know, what you used to consider like once in a lifetime type of horses, it just seems like I've had several of those here lately since Not Rough at All. I thought I'd never have one like him, and then the black horse comes along, and you're never going to have one like him, and then Best Shine and Gonna Be Big Time, and now the Plus Me on Shiny horse is just, they keep coming in waves. We feel blessed.
Yeah, as good as those horses are, though, what impresses me the most about your program is how long your horses last. I mean, they can be 7 years old and still run down the pen as good as they did when they were 3.
I mean, Best Shine had a mistake at Tulsa in the finals, but I don't think he was trying to be bad. It just didn't work. And then he looks as pure as can be the rest of the pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Jason had a mistake. You know what he did? He channeled that moment where he was at the futurity on the bay horse, and he was going to +1 that stop. He's going to run in there and show him. And it didn't work.
Yeah, it's hurting. It's
replay.
hurting that heart.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
We're not going to
replay.
forget that.
There are so many things too that go through your mind whenever you have that run in and you miss that stop.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, I'm always talking out loud as I'm backing up. Sometimes I laugh. I mean, shaking my head. It's good showmanship. Just tell the world what just happened.
Yeah,
In case
exactly.
they didn't see it.
Yeah, and it's tough, and you always wonder, okay, how bad was that? Now, do I run his guts out for the rest of the run for nothing, or was it not that bad? You
Yeah.
know, you kind of get in that.
Yeah, do I try to catch up?
Yeah, or do I just?
Always
Well-
by the whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh, you're done.
shit.
Well, I was talking with Kade yesterday actually, and to go back a few minutes, I said, "You remember that one year you won all that money and you won everything?" And he giggles and he laughs. He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Do you know that me and your dad would talk while you were in the makeup pen going, I don't know what he's doing. I'm going to have to tone it down. I don't know." And then you'd walk out there and mark a 24 like it was easy. He goes, yeah. I'm trying to do that right now with my 3-year-old. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm crossing the line. It's uncomfortable right now, but hopefully it'll be good at the Congress.
That was whenever Kade first came out, like his rookie year, he was trying to prove something. And in the makeup pen, there's a lot of us going, dude, you know, you
I
may
would
not
talk
get,
with Tom about it constantly. Remember the buckskin mare at the Derby?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And Tom said to me, he said, man, I'm going to have a talk with him. And he walks in there and marks a 224.5. And the first person he comes to talk to is me. He goes, I can't say nothing to him now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was working for him for sure.
Well, it kind of was, and it kind of wasn't. I mean, I think what worked for Kade early was he just, in my opinion, no offense to anybody else, in my opinion, I mean, he's a jockey. I mean, he can walk in there.
He's just
When
great.
the gate
He's
closes
just one of the
behind him,
best.
he's as good as anybody anywhere. And now, from the first year, I mean, he was 18 years old. I mean, we all remember when we were 18 years old. I mean, we none of us were great horse trainers,
But we thought we were the best.
but we thought we were phenomenal. And anytime a horse didn't put the foot in the right place, it wasn't because we trained him wrong. It was because he was being a jackass in our minds, you know? And that's the one thing. And I think I have so many people walk up now and say, you know, man, Kade's program over the last 5 years is just flipped. And I see it every day. Now there's never a time at home where I go, oh, I wonder what he's trying to get done. And it was a lot of times like that when he was 18 years old. And then he comes out and he's first and second in the futurity. I don't know that that's ever been done before or since. And then the pressure on a 19-year-old kid who was just first and second in the futurity on a night when everything just lined up, you know, and good horses, great horses, but they just, you know,
Trained
things
by a
lined
good
up.
dude.
And
One of them, well, both of them were. Yeah, he had the other one as a 2-year-old.
yeah. So, and he's not really somebody that any of us that know him would think pressure would bother him at all. But when you're 18 coming off of that, I mean, it's just, I think it did for a little bit.
Well, I think that that kid is so talented. He's going to win more stuff than all of us put together, and it's great. That's what our sport is supposed to be. It's about the next generation of guys coming on, and he's one of those dudes. So
Imagine when Emma's his assistant and they're just killing it.
yeah, he could probably put her on some good stock. He'd be putting her on better stock than her dad is.
Yeah, I think there's a Vanlandingham that's going to win more than. Huh? She's pretty talented too. She craves it too, huh?
She's good at it. Yeah, she's a good little showman.
Yeah, and she's natural on a horse. I mean, I've always, from the first time I saw her lope around, she's natural. I mean,
Yeah, there's things that you try to teach some of them, and whenever her little backside hit the seat the first time, she just had timing, and where her feet carried her around, I mean, she had it. And Dalton was the same way. Those kids can ride. I had to learn all that stuff. I mean, if you saw videos of me riding whenever I was 19 or 20 years old, you'd be going,
oh, I
"Where in the
remember.
world?" I mean, you didn't know me then, and I'd never seen a reining horse at that point in my life. But I rode with the longest stirrups possible. I looked like the man from Snowy River going down the side of the mountain. You know, where he's kind of rocked back.
Oh, yeah.
That was how I rode, like just on flat ground going across the pasture. Yeah, but it was.
And then you
it was
went
the
to
best
Craig
stuff.
Johnson's, and that didn't help you shorten your stirrups any.
No, that didn't.
Craig rode with always his toes reaching
Yeah,
for
that's
the.
right.
Yeah. But that, you know, it's amazing whenever kids grow up doing it like your kid did and like my kids have done, how much farther along they are than us.
They're just natural at it. They gather information without you telling them. They just see it. They see it every day. They see it. They probably know mistakes you've made when you've marked 225s. Well, if he had just done this, you know.
I still believe the horse teaches us more than anything too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get on the back of a horse that knows how to do it right and feel that, and then be able to go out and try to make the rest of them do that, that's something that's it's just so invaluable. I mean, you can spend a whole lifetime of riding horses that are out of position. You never know what's correct, so you never know how to train it right. So
But you know what? We all were talking about this earlier a little bit. I think so much comes down to desire, how much they want it, how much they pay attention. It drives me batshit crazy when I have help just getting on and getting off to be able to check the board. Mm-hmm. And when those horses don't get better, and you know what? I don't always have time. I rarely ever have time to sit around and watch everything they do. And, you know, we got 150 horses in training, and I you know, run the majority of what goes on in the office and stuff. So, I mean, obviously I got a secretary that does a lot of stuff, but a lot of the decisions are done. So I have a lot of shit going on. I don't see it all.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times, if they're having a problem with one, when do they ride it? When I'm not there.
yeah.
And we've all been through that, you know, and it's so unbelievably frustrating to me to see, you know, these kids that they just think well, that one's not good enough, so I'm just going to make sure I ride it and check the board. That drives me nuts. I mean, we've had this conversation. What gets me out of bed in the morning is it's not the best. It's not going out and buying one from somebody for $500 that I think is the best thing in the country. That's not what I like getting out of it. I like going and buying one that's a bit of a project, but can still do it. And I can feel like I'm gaining every day. I like that. I mean, that's really what gets me going. And it drives me crazy seeing help that just checking the box. Well, that one's not good enough. Well, how would you know?
Yeah.
How would you know what's good enough or not? Because you've never won anything.
And the big thing for somebody like that is they're not ever going to win anything.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge in our industry right now. You know, finding somebody one that does crave it enough. And there's 2 or 3 young guys right now that I think do. But there's a whole industry of young guys right now that want their opportunity without putting the work in. And I've always been a person that believed that you earn your opportunities. And we've always had our small program that I've done all the riding and my kids and, you know, gone that route. With the vintage smokes, there were so many of them. We tried to expand a little bit and have, you know, an assistant or 2 sitting around. And that just brings a whole other area of frustration. You know, you're having to try to fix the things that they messed up. You know, you put all the time and effort, then they bail out on you in the middle of the night. You know, just guys with no respect whatsoever.
Or you spend half a day telling somebody what to do, and you can't think straight while you're riding.
Yeah.
Gonna be big time or best shine
Right.
or
And-
yours. You know, it just takes away from you.
Well, it's like you're putting so much effort. You're putting more effort into helping them than they are trying to get better.
Yeah, that's frustrating. And
I
when
have
they
that
say, "Oh, dude," when they say, "Well, this thing just can't do it,"
Yeah.
huh? Watch. I bet I can do it.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, but and that's you know, that's maybe that's my own fault for allowing that to happen. You know, for bringing in somebody that I don't have that trust on, and so you know, we're just going to go right back like we were. You know, we're just going to have to start turning those horses away, and whenever people call, we just stick them on the list or say, hey, send them to Gunny or Joe or Tom or let them have a shot at them, because I'm not going to put myself in a situation again where I'm dependent on some little punk kid.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get it. And you are, I say the same thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it falls on me because it's my place. And you know, we take, so it's always our horses. It's always mine and Mandy's horses because they fall further down the totem pole. You know, our best, we have some great horse trainers and they get the great horses. And then some of the rest of them fall a little bit further down. Well, they don't improve them. And not only do they sometimes not improve them, they make them so I can't improve them either. It takes some time, and it is very frustrating. And the lack of, to me, it's as simple as, I told Gunny this when he worked for me. He'll know what I'm going to say. I got off of one, and
He was mad.
I threw the reins at him, and I said, you know what? You better stay awake at night trying to figure out how to make this better.
Yeah.
But you know what? He did, and he always did. And Gunny was always one. If we had somebody else show on or wasn't working, he's like, give me that one. I can make that work. Give me that one.
Yeah.
You know, and
you have a lot of respect for that.
a lot of respect
And
for
then
that.
he's going to get more opportunities in the future. You can take one of those that nobody else can get along with and get along with it, and all of a sudden you're going to get those opportunities.
I mean, I don't mean to butt in, but I'd like to tell you a story about it.
Bring it.
I trained a horse one time that Mandy McCutcheon showed, and I did such a good job training it that she marked a 182 in Denver on it. She was so happy with me when she came out of the arena that she threw the rein at me and said something. I don't remember what it was, but I ducked
He had
it.
a lot of reins thrown at him.
I grabbed the rein and ducked from her other hand that was swinging at me.
So
And the next week,
is
I
that
marked
a,
a
is
six.
that is that a 2-judge thing? A 180?
No, it was 3 judges. The next week, I marked a 216 and a half on it. See, it's easy. I told you.
That's beautiful, man. Especially when they throw the rain at you.
Oh, yeah. But Tom said, hey, I think I need to, you need to sell some. He sold her.
Yeah. Tell him about the other story.
I
At the
can't remember.
At the futurity, when I asked you if you wanted to scratch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I had one. The first fraternity that I've ever been to in my life. And I'm 19. I'm comfortable. I'm 20. I don't know how old I am. I'm comfortable. But I've never done this before. But I can do it. And I'm gaining on this horse turning around. And he's turning a 0 at best. And in my mind, I'm this close to a half, okay? So I press it a little bit. And
A little bit.
I press it a little. He doesn't know. He asked me this when the horse is turning good, okay? And no, I'm fine. I'll show him. Well, after he asked me, I mean, it must have been 30 minutes after that. I asked this thing to turn, and it launches forward. It wants no part of turning anymore. I have done the best job imaginable teaching this thing to dread turning and to leave turning, okay? I did such a good job of it that in the makeup pen at Oklahoma City, Jim Morgan saw me getting ready. I got my Shapson's hat on. And he saw me trotting it around the makeup pen. He goes, "Hey, Gunny, how many more till you show?" "Oh, I'm next." "Oh, good." And he turns around and walks back in there to watch me show. I cleared the makeup pen. Like, he made it a point to tell me, "Yeah, I saw all that, and I really want to see it happen out there." Okay? But old Gunny Matheson marked a 209.5 on him. Got him turned around. Okay?
Yeah.
They were 4 very slow turns, but he didn't leap and lunge.
Nice.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
And then I sold it everywhere else, dude. I was positive. Yeah. There was no quit in there.
Yeah.
Call me and say, "Hey, I can't do it. You gotta tell Tom I got."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes before, I got a scratch. "No, you said you would. You're doing it now."
Yeah, I wouldn't
All
let
right.
him out.
You
I
lost
said,
your
nope,
chance.
you
All right.
committed.
All right.
Half hour ago, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's situations like that. You get through stuff like that, and you're willing to jump into the fire, and then you get a horse like Best Shine or whatever.
But-
and you're like, oh, all that hard work? This is easy.
Yeah.
I was also in an assistant trainer position there where I had to ride some that were less than ideal.
Yep.
Right? Well, and that horse was fine. He just wasn't good enough for Tom, and I made him worse. I didn't know what I was doing. But there was the occasional one that would run off or run a little hard, and he's not going to show it. I mean, okay, well, figure it out. How am I going to do this? Okay, well, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to run off for 2 circles, and I'm going to smile while I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And whenever I get to the middle, I'm going to say something loud enough that he thinks he's about to stop, and I'm going to keep him loping. I'm going to fake a small slow and keep showing. And you mark a 21.5 the first time you do that. I'm yeah, it was easy. I told you I could do it. It's a big deal. But, that stuff doesn't last. But that appreciation for showing horses that wasn't perfect and figuring out how to get through it, how to find a way to make something work where it doesn't roll back one way or it's sketchy changing leads. I found a way to do it, and I just so happen to have 2 of the best showmen in my corner telling me how to do it that have gotten through stuff before, and I understood it. But now you really can't get away with some of it because the horses are so good. But at the same point in time, our help will tell us, it's not good enough. Yeah. Well,
And there's nobody that's okay. There's a couple of younger guys that stepped in that you kind of take out of the equation, but nobody 30 years or older was an overnight success. Mm-mm. I mean, you banged your head against the wall for a while. I did. He did. We all did. Joe did. We all did. And it's just part of it. And I remember, so I was, Kade, at that time, he made the finals, level 4 finals of the futurity. He was like 13 years old. And he was
in the non-pro.
In the non-pro. 12 years old. And he was the youngest to make it at 12 years old. And I didn't have great horses for him at that point. And the next year he's struggling because now he's only in level 4. And I'm walking around in barn 6 with Craig Schmersel, and I said, God dang it, I got to do a better job. I don't have him on good enough horses. It is just bugging the shit out of me. I don't have him on good enough horses. And he looks at me and he says, how do you think you and I learned how to horse show?
Yeah.
And I mean, that right then I was like, well, I still felt like I should get him on better horses, but I did feel better about the process of him learning. And I think that's part of why he shows so good today. I mean, he cut his teeth on some tough ones.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a long time to figure this deal out. Like you said, I bet we could count them on 2 hands, the number of guys that were successful early on in their lifetime. And those are going to be guys that came basically transitioned out of the non-pro that were showing since the time they were a little bitty. But the rest of us that have made a living at it in the open all the way through, I think it takes till you're almost 40 to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
And if you look at, like, whenever I first came into this deal, Dwayne Latimer was starting to dominate, and that's where he was at, and Brent Wright. And, there was kind of that generation of guys. And then the next group that's coming along, and Deary and Jordan and Gunny and that they all kind of came in at the same.
Deary and Jordan and Vanlandingham.
Well, but that all happened.
I was commentating,
You've got to have.
and I did a good
all that
job
experience.
commentating
Yeah.
too. I mean, I got a mouth.
But you got to have that experience. You got to have that time in the saddle to figure out how to make things work consistently. And I truly believe that in our businesses, which is unlike anybody else's, from like the time you're 40 to 50 can be your prime time of your career, which every other sport in the world is from 22 to 29. Yeah. And ours, you're just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
So.
Are you saying Tom Spouse is prime? 55?
Well, some people extend it.
I'm telling you, I am. No, I mean, it is. You're right, and I don't think Dwayne is several years older than I am, and he won the qualifier this year at the Cactus. I mean,
I think he's very good still. I think he is excellent
absolutely.
at this still. One of the best.
Yeah.
still.
Absolutely. But there was a time when you couldn't beat him if he had his
There was
run.
a time where he won $1 million in 3 years when nobody won $1 million.
That's
right.
He
That's right.
was unstoppable.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, no doubt about it.
What is it about people like Dwayne that make him so successful in his run, and you in your run, and Casey Deary in their run? What is it? You guys put your finger on it?
I can so from a,
Is it confidence? Is that you got it figured out and you know what you're doing and it's going to fit and you just know it's going to work, so you don't?
It's confidence in what you're doing. Because Casey's deal is so much different than mine, and my deal is different than...
Yeah, but his deal, he lies to himself and tells himself how good he is and goes out there and wins anyway.
Yeah.
Even if he ain't that good.
His deal is
how
his
he
deal's
says
special,
that
and
every
he's been
show.
good a lot.
He's been great a lot.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
But he believe like we can go do a clinic at the same spot, and he's telling people completely opposite stuff than I'm telling people. But he believes it, and I believe what I'm doing, and it works in different. It's totally different, but it still works.
And it's confusing everybody that's taking the clinic.
Oh yeah.
But
gotta
You
divide
need to
them.
pull more. No.
No.
Turn loose.
Put a hack more on.
Hack more. Push forward. Pull more. Right?
Yeah. But
Well-
consistency in what you're doing. So he's consistent in what he's doing. I'm consistent in what I'm doing. You couldn't mesh the two together.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it a step further, though. I mean, when you look at basketball, look at Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I mean, they're legendary for if they miss a three-pointer, staying after. If they miss a three-pointer at the buzzer, staying after for 2 hours and shooting another 500 of them.
1,000 shots.
1,000 shots. Tom Brady. I mean, he's legendary for his focus on being the best. And to me, when I look at Andrea, and I look at you, and I look at Dwayne, and I look at Sean, the focus is 100% all the time on being the best that you can be. Not the best you can be, at being the absolute best in the industry. I mean, I don't know anybody that's more focused than Andrea, Sean, you.
Yeah.
I mean, that Casey's maybe a little bit different. I mean, like he's into it like that, but maybe not as
His deal
crazy.
His deal is so much different. I mean, it is crazy. Like Adrian, she doesn't want us getting ready at the same time. If we draw up close to each other, it's almost like, man, this is going to be an issue.
Because he's jacking around on the phone, having a good time, laughing, and your head is focused on your animal. Leave me alone. I'm focused. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Yeah.
That's exactly it. And he can still have success just out there. He's running that way and talking over here. And like I said, got his phone in his pocket. He's special in the stuff that he can do. But like my deal is, I think that
Structure.
Everything has got to be exactly where I want it all the time. And so I got to be focused and locked in on that. And I know there's a lot of people that, you brought it after the last show that we did here. A lot of people think that I'm not a very nice person. When I'm at a horse show, I'm locked in on what I'm doing.
I've never thought that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never thought that.
Yeah, but
Because I've watched you help Adrian before ride a horse, and I know you are a very nice person.
Yes, very much in love.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very good. Oh, she should do that again. No, you're good. One more time, we're good.
Way to go, babe.
Yeah.
oh man,
Adrian and Emma get a little bit different treatment, I've noticed, at the horse show in the preparation of the livestock. Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's different. Well, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, look. Next. So we're talking about horse training again. We're going to the Congress. You going to the Congress?
I am. Yeah.
You going to the Congress?
I am.
Joe, no 3-year-old this year, right?
Not going to Congress.
So what's prep like right now? I know at my house, it's hammered down chaos. You know how you said confidence and put. Nah, I forgot all of that because I've tiptoed around these horses too much that I think I've made a mistake doing it. I dove right into everything. I know I need to back off, and I have time to back off. It's September 18th. I have October and November. I have 2 months to say I'm sorry. But my horses haven't been slowing down, circling like I like. They're very relaxed, but whenever I put the hammer down, they weren't there. So they are very much overthinking everything circling now. How do I fix it?
Yeah, so whenever I went to Tulsa, and my approach is always, whenever I go to Tulsa, I'm pretty soft. I cruise around there, try to, if I'm extremely, like when Not Rough at All was there, I turned the corner and I went down there and stopped because I knew what was going to happen. But I was soft circling and I was clean turning. So I don't want to cause it. On my first trip out, I don't want to do anything that's going to cause me problems down the
I
road.
think I did that showing there, but I did it to a point that it bothered me because I'm going to do it the next 6 horse. I'm going to do it till the horse is 6 years old, and then I'm going to go, "What are you doing? Get this thing ready to go! Come on!" Well, I'm trying to be better, so I turned the dial up.
So whenever I came home from that horse show, I knew what I had for show horses, which ones I thought were going to be easy to show, which ones I thought might be a little bit tougher. And so now I've started preparing for that first Saturday in December. So I'm doing things harder with the drape in there and saying, okay, it's time for you to take care of me. The one
You making them nervous doing it?
No, because I'm still doing everything. The only time you're going to make them nervous doing stuff is
Mine's really nervous right now, so
Okay.
just
So-
he is worried.
So the reason I would put money on it, your hands are too fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I could have told you that 10 years ago. Though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your hands are not usually fast. You usually have quiet hands. But whenever we start stepping things up, the first thing that happens is fast hands. And as soon as you get fast hands, you're going to scare a horse. So everything you're doing fast, keep on doing your fast stuff and make your hands slower.
Okay.
Yeah, like your hands should never move any faster than that right there, no matter what you're doing.
Smaller brattle then. For some reason, yesterday I went to a bigger one.
It doesn't even matter the size.
Oh,
of
I think it mattered.
it. Yeah,
It didn't work.
yeah.
It didn't work as good.
I actually put a big one on yesterday on one, and whenever I slowed down, he slowed down hard, and the shanks did that, and so he's like, "What's going on here?" So I'll go back to my short one there, but I think that you're never going to scare a horse with slow hands, and you can do things as fast as you want as long as you stay slow in your hands.
What are you doing with your 3-year-olds, Tom?
Can edit it out. We can edit out the cricket. How come we can't edit out the cricket, but we can't edit out Gunny?
Tried, but it takes up too much.
Then the show would be 8 minutes long.
Hey, okay, you guys have 17 minutes and 19 seconds left. I'm going to go sit right over there on the couch with them 3 ladies. Y'all handle this, okay? This is the last time you're going to insult me on.
I bet it's not.
But it's not.
Sponsored by Ranch Fuel. We forgot that part. Did I screw up our sound? Sorry.
Man, it went downhill fast.
I'm trying to ask him a serious question on what he's doing with his training horses right
And
now.
then but you hear the cricket.
All he hears is Jiminy Cricket back there. He don't even know.
What was the question?
What are you
I'm
doing
trying
with
to
your
figure out
3-year-olds?
how the heck to show my 3-year-olds, and you're not helping.
I'm
just Jason's
I'm
here.
just running them around and doing all the stuff. I'm doing them. I'm going
That's
straight
so-
Jason
That
Vanlandingham.
is such a Tom McCutcheon answer. No, that is not.
I'm just doing the stuff.
I bet if I go to his house, he gives me detailed instructions. And I go to your house, just go fast and slow. I mean, you're an idiot.
So
what are you
let's-
doing?
so let's
Don't
go-
be dumb.
So let's go back to that. when we talk about different people and personalities, so when I showed Conquistador Wiz at the WEG Games in Spain, I got him from Dwayne, and Dwayne, I could call Dwayne at any time, and he could tell me in detail. Well, okay, if he does this, do this, and he's putting his foot there, and he had me so confused, and a little bit on the defense because Dwayne prepares for everything to go wrong, and then works his way through that. So he's telling me everything that horse can do wrong, and not anything he can do right. So the first couple times I showed him at the qualifier, I was not good. I mean, I was okay. And then by the time we went to Gladstone, I think I won Gladstone on him, and he was more hooked in. But I had to just make myself, okay, I know what I'm feeling. If I have a problem, I call Dwayne a lot, but I had to just kind of filter out some of the negative, because if you know Dwayne, everything's negative, right? I mean, that's just how he's wired, and that's what kind of makes him great, is he prepares for all those things that can go wrong.
That's interesting, because I thought that I was maybe in the minority on that, because I do the same thing. I think about everything that can go wrong, and I train all the little stuff. So you brought up Best Shine earlier. You know how he's been just going and going and going. Well, I don't run and stop him at the house, and I very rare. I turn him 3/4 speed, but I work on every spot that he's ever thought that he might try to take advantage of me. That's all I work on, is those little spots. And I think that's what keeps one going a long time, is all of those little things rather than the stop and the turn itself, because they know how to do all that whenever they get to that age. And Conquistador Wiz knew how to do all that stuff. And so Dwayne was probably thinking, well, there was one time he went around the end, he shouldered to the outside, so I'm not going to let that happen. Or he started to fall in or started to speed up coming into the wall. Right. And that's all the stuff that I think about. That's, if you want to talk about stuff that keeps me up at night, it's all that stuff. And that's what's so refreshing about the 3-year-olds, because that stuff's not there. But then we learn from our older horses what can go wrong. And so you start beating those younger horses to those things, and never have the issues. Yeah. So
how much of your
a little bit that way too.
How much of your 3-year-olds are you teaching to anticipate slowing down in the middle, though?
Yeah, I slow down in the middle quite a bit right now, but they've got to have the exact same slowdown anywhere in the circle, which we all know that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
But you almost need them to anticipate a few little things. Just be comfortable with it. They got to anticipate slowing down. They got to be okay going the other way, changing leads, going fast, and they gotta let you drive and not overthink it. But they got to think enough that they do slow down or change leads when you ask them to. So where is the line? Is kind of what I'm asking.
Well, you got to get them to anticipate enough, and then get them to not anticipate. Yeah. I think you get in trouble when you don't get them to anticipate. Like you talk about your lead change. You change leads in the middle more than anybody. They're good, then they get bad. You go through that, and you don't make a big deal about it, and then they're changing leads in the middle, no problem.
But they don't anticipate it, because he does it a lot. It's never a big deal.
When I'm teaching one to change leads from the start, I always want them. I'll change them enough to where they change without me asking them. And that's when I got them where I want them. And then I go back and smooth it all out. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just how I do it, and it works for me.
Yeah.
But I don't like a mechanical change. Like I have tried so many horses that I get on them and I'm loping around. I go to change. I can't freaking make them change leads. I mean, I tried one. Gunny had me try one. It wasn't one because he does it similar to me, but somebody that is close to him was riding it, and I tried it, and they just marked a 222 or something. I said, I cannot change leads on this horse, and I think that's one of the reasons why, like our non-pros, it's an easy transition for them, because pretty much it's just point and put your leg on them, and they just change.
Well, I think that's why you guys probably sell more non-pro horses than anybody else in the world, because people come there and they know they're going to stay between your reins. They're going to change leads when you ask them to. Right. They're going to stop when you say, whoa.
Right. There's not too many. And it's amazing how many, to me, it's amazing how many guys in the industry today I see go out there and mark a 22, 23, 25, and you try to get on one of their horses and ride it around, and you can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about, I've followed Dwayne on a couple, and Dwayne is very technical, but very simple. You know, it's just bam, bam,
Left,
bam,
right,
bam.
forward, back. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've bought horses before because I knew Dwayne trained it. I was like, oh, yeah, if he trained it, it's...
But I mean, the first question I asked him was if he puts his. I think Dwayne puts his horses in tough spots at home.
Oh yeah.
I
Absolutely.
think he puts them in every spot at home,
Absolutely.
and it's easy for him to show them.
He does it in the makeup pen. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just doing a lot of stuff to give them the opportunity to make the mistake. And
Yeah. What do you say? He wants to get it, teach them to get it right, and then teach them where they can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
To where you cut the reins, they still do it.
And I'm
we should
sure
have
you've
him on
seen it.
sometime. He's
We had him on.
We've had him on.
No,
It's a little hard to get it. Who?
Did we have him twice or just the one
Twice.
time? Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Had
get
him
him to
on.
talk.
Yeah, it's a little hard to get him to talk. It's not a lot of information there, but
If we were to talk about horse training, I bet he'd open.
yeah,
up.
maybe. Yeah, maybe we
Or
ought,
hockey.
maybe we ought to try
Like
that.
if we talked about the Montreal Canadiens and
Edmonton
the
Oilers.
Calgary. Oh, Edmonton. Yeah.
Or the Walking
Edmonton
Dead.
Yeah.
Walking
And the
Dead.
walk- yeah.
dead.
Yeah, or The Walking Dead. Yeah, he loves that. But no, I mean he's so technical. But yeah, we've all seen it. And those of us that have been around, all of us have been around for a while. How many times did you see Dwayne in the over in barn 6, and it's not looking good?
Yeah.
He walks over and just stands there in the practice pen, and then walks in and marks at 26.
Yeah.
I mean, he used to do that all the time, and I never, like, it was always like, but it was almost like, okay, he went through all that stuff, and then when he came back over here, they were like, okay, I'm good now. It's not like it's the first time they ever did that, and then they had any residue from it. It's like, okay, I know I was bad. Okay, now I'm going to be good, you know?
Yeah.
And then
There may be some method to that too, you know.
And
Yeah.
then, like, prepping your 3-year-olds, like, do you routine them at home to where you'll ride them and then ever let them catch their air, go clean them up, and then bring them out and ride them again, like you would at the show? Like, do you get your horses ready, take them to the stall, clean them up, and then go show them, or do you just ride them and go show them?
Yeah, I've never done that, but I do have at our place my indoor is right next to the track, and so I might be riding right out on the track and then just run through the gate and go run in there and stop and check my turns and go circle, and you'd be surprised. You can take a 5 or 6 year old horse that has done it 1,000 times and been in both arenas 1,000 times. And if you go from outside in the light to in the dark, or vice versa, from
You
the
can-
dark into the light, you
can
can
bait
fool
'em.
them things. It's unreal. I did that on a vintage smoke a lot, and it was like it was the first time I ever ran through the gate. it was really amazing how many times I could trick him at my house. So I think the way I'm set up there, that helps. If we just, I was talking to Adrian about it today. She's got this little 3-year-old that she's riding around, and she had loped 3 circles, and I said,
And it looked great.
it did look amazing. And she's pretty hot on the back of a horse. I don't know if you noticed or not, but
Didn't notice at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
I keep my head.
So I told her, I said, you need to just go run 2 large fast circles. I want you to break to a walk, lope off, run 2 large fast circles, and hit your small slow in the middle, just like you're showing. She said, well, I just started warming. I've only loped a few circles. I normally lope a lot more first. And I was like, yeah, but that's not going to prepare you, and it's not going to prepare your horse for whenever you go show. So a lot of the times, I jog my horses around and make sure their body's warmed up and stretch and do all that kind of stuff, and then just get busy. And it's just like a horse show then, where you're going to walk to the middle and go to work. And I do that on my 3-year-old. Just now started doing that on my 3-year-olds. That's not something I do early on. Okay. But once we're starting to get into that show mode on those guys, then I'm going to start doing that. And then I might let one air up and the girls are walking it around. And then whenever I step back on, we just head down there and run and stop, show speed, and see where I'm at.
Yeah, but not make them require 30 minutes of walking around, trotting, loping, doing everything perfect, and then going.
That's exactly it.
I've been
'cause
trying to do that since Tulsa. Like, I ain't loped to the fence. I've run circles, let it catch his air, put the skid boots on. Okay, turn the corner, run down there and stop.
Yeah.
Roll back, run down there, stop. See what happens.
Yeah. Well, the little horse that she's riding, I've never seen one like this actually, but if you fence the horse, stops fine. If you turn the corner, he walks out of it every single time. And I mean to tell you, that's a frustrating thing. But so what's the point in fencing?
Yeah.
Fence is fine. So we got to turn the corner, run down there and stop until he figures out that, hey, smart guy, this is what we're going to go do.
Do you guys feel like we're having, like the horses today are more honest showing from the start? I remember, years ago, your biggest worry was showing them the first time because you didn't want them to walk in there and not be the horse you were riding outside. I don't feel like we see that as much anymore where they're super good outside and then they walk in and don't horse show. I feel like we've bred them to the point where they're being more on, or are we training them better?
I think we're training them better, and I think that their minds are better. But I've never had a horse that was outstanding outside and walk in the show pen and just be a dink. I mean, you might have one that's doesn't slow down quite the same, or is late here or there responding because they're distracted. But just to go be a dink, they're normally a dink outside.
And you're lying to yourself.
Yeah,
you're thinking it's good.
Yeah, because I stopped him 17 times, and on the 17th time he drug his tail, and I stepped off of him. Yeah. Well, your first maneuver when you run down there in the practice pen is going to tell you what you have when you go show, and so that's kind of the way I look at it anyhow. And so I don't really recall having anything that was just a flat out a liar whenever it went in the pen, just because. And one, I guess I've kind of grown up in the generation where these horses have been bred to do it for so long that they're just better minded.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or truthful.
Yeah, you riding a Scotch bar time out of a daughter of impressive. Get a little. I rode a lot of those.
Yeah.
Get a little hairy sometimes.
I can imagine.
But to your point, they weren't spectacular outside either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a really important question. All of us here know the answer, but I think there's a lot of people out there that. How important is this person, Adrian, in your success?
It takes a wife to ask a wife-like question. She's trying to give some
Okay,
credit.
so this
You know we were supposed
3
to
minutes
interview
and 55 seconds.
We don't really
left.
pay attention to that.
We were supposed to interview Adrian tonight, not you. I
Well,
just
she should have
called
been.
you.
So here's the bottom line, and everybody knows this that's been around this, but my wife does literally everything but the actual training of the horse, even to the point of warming up and cooling down the horses. But every ounce of money that we have comes in because she takes care of the whole business side of it. You talked about you do the business side of things. I can't even write I don't know how to pay the water bill. Quite literally.
I don't either.
Okay, so it's not
It's
just me.
okay, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you guys
she-
tell yourselves
She
that.
takes
all
care
right.
of all
It's
of
totally
that.
normal.
But then every horse in my barn, she has her hands on every day. So she's going to know exactly where every bump is on the horse, if they've ever had scratches, where the scratches are located at. If anything pops up new, she's going to have her hands on it. She's going to fix it before it ever becomes a problem for me. And literally she
That's
can,
why you're so nice to her.
yeah, it's just that. But my business is nobody knows who I am if it's not for my wife.
Yeah.
Yep. Zero success.
I feel like if you look at all the top guys, it takes two.
Yeah.
It takes two. I'm sure there is somebody out there, but I can't think of a single person out there that's maintained long-term success.
I'm lucky too because Monica takes care of my bookwork, and I don't know how much money I have in my bank account at no point in time anymore. But I do know when I can't buy a toy. And I bought a new toy this week. I bought a train horn for my truck, and I love it. And it's so stupid, but it makes me happy.
Hey, go out and honk it right now. Go out, do it.
You can
Really?
hear it
we
from
can
here.
hear it right here.
This is happening right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
He had a black Ford, so he got rid of
traded
that
it
one.
in. Yeah, they paid him
ready?
a
Ready?
bunch of money for it. Yeah, he got a bunch of money for
You're
it.
gonna like this.
Did he take the stereo out of the black one and move it into the
Oh,
gray
I
one?
don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I think that didn't even sound real.
What is happening?
It sounds fake.
Nice.
You know how much he could mess with somebody? Like
Oh, yeah.
some car. Hey, so I want to know the reason. Is he coming back in? The reason you get it, let me tell you what happened the other day. The train tracks right next to your house, I pull in front of it to the stop sign, and a car parks right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of the train track. And I'm thinking, that person's going to die if a train comes because the car pulled up behind them and I'm in front of them with the truck and trailer. There's cars going by, so I can't go anywhere.
That's not why.
Man, you could mess with somebody, though.
Oh, how great would that be? They're on their phone texting,
Yeah,
and
you
you pull up and that would be awesome.
I bought
video
it.
it.
I bought it because I drive down 377 with a horse trailer connected to that truck, and there's a
somebody
lot of
pulls out in
times
front of you.
that I've honked that horn, and it's like, yeah, they don't even care.
Yeah.
But they're gonna jump out of their skin when they hear that thing. Now
When that idiot pulls out in front of you and you got a trailer load of
I'm gonna
horses.
make him flinch.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, that's a lot better than pulling out, that little handgun you got. It's a lot better than pulling that out. Bap, bap, bap,
Yeah, because that thing's in my name. So don't do that. Oh, gee, man.
Hey, we got 13 seconds left. Are y'all worried about going to Columbus and anybody eating your dog or your cat?
No, that's Springfield. That's Springfield, right?
That's
That's real
close.
close.
It's close
Oh
by.
yeah, it's
like-
within a stone's
Yeah.
throw.
Yeah.
No, I'm not taking my dog, so I'm good.
Hopefully they don't like horse meat there yet.
No, I don't think so.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but it sure sounds
Yeah,
funny.
they're eating dogs and cats in Springfield.
No, they're
Yeah.
not.
No,
Yeah, we're showing this.
our
Yeah.
buddy Trump had
Yeah.
to go off
It's
on
true.
his debate and
Yeah, it
say
was on
they're
the
eating
internet.
dogs and cats. And
Oh, yeah.
Florida said, they used to have a bunch of nice ducks in the park there. The ducks are gone.
Oh, man.
They're
That's
eating all
rough.
sorts of animals. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, I called Sean right after that debate. I called him the next day, and he's like, you son of a bitch, my dog's fine.
Yeah. Nobody's eating my dog.
Well, sorry for all
Yeah.
the horse training questions tonight. You can't tell I'm in a really good place right now. Okay, I'm not questioning everything I'm doing. Okay, I'm very confident in absolutely just getting off. Okay.
The crazy part of it is from your house to my house is exactly 11 minutes.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
I mean, come on, dude.
I get up at 5. What time are you getting there?
I'm going to be at McCarroll's whenever they open tomorrow. With
He's
a
got
load
an
of
indoor
yearlings.
arena.
Yeah.
Running
It's a little,
stop.
You want to help me circle there?
Yeah, that would be tight.
We could do a lot of circles.
We could. Yeah. In a
What time are
hurry.
you going to be there?
So you just
8
come
o'clock?
to my house. I got to be at McCarroll's at 8. Yeah.
Dude, I don't want you yelling at me. No, I don't want to feel that stupid. No.
I would never.
Better to feel stupid now than in 2 weeks.
I would never.
It's better
raise
to
my
feel
voice.
stupid than look stupid.
Yes. Yeah, just
Here-
feel stupid
here-
now. Get it over with. Take
I'm
the
kind of
Band-Aid
okay with looking stupid and going, he's just not a show horse.
off. Yeah.
Here's my biggest fear. You don't come hang out for a couple of days and you get frustrated and you hand your reins to Kade.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you hand your reins to Kade, then he comes out smelling like a
No,
rose. in the
I
futurity.
actually already have a plan with this horse, and I told Mandy. And I said, so bad. It's just dumb. Kate's looking for it. No, I was going to give this one to Tom.
Yes.
He's my friend.
Yeah, that's why I love him.
Yeah.
Forget all that shit I said before. That was just a joke.
Oh boy.
All right.
All right.
I'll see you in a day or two.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it,
me.
man.
Dinner
Thanks
was
for the
great.
therapy.
I've been burping it all night though, so sorry for that.
Yeah, I didn't notice, but no. My wife is an excellent cook.
She is.
Very good.
It
You-
shows.
Oh, nice.
And
Right
this will
at- right
be
at the-
Jason's last time on the show. So.
I'm not gonna get my 5-time jacket.
Whenever I called Jason
at the
today,
buzzer.
I said, I know you've been on the show too much, but
Yeah.
you've also won too much lately not to be on our show again. And we did abuse him the last show. I mean, we were hard on him last time, so it was good to get him on here.
So is this true? Kade said you called him looking for a little ammunition.
I did. He didn't give me any.
He didn't give me
I
any.
have one. I need my phone. So
No,
get your
I
phone.
almost-
We got time.
I almost during the middle of your little presentation a while ago, whenever you were talking about, how you have to go to the office after you get done riding and take care of all of this stuff. And man, I got a lot of text messages today. This right here.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
You've seen that one?
Yeah.
You've seen
Let me
that
see it.
beauty?
Let me see it.
Check it out. This is Tom McCutcheon in the office getting some
Doing
work
computer
done.
work right here,
Yeah.
right by the ranch field for the camera.
Can,
She
can
zoom
you guys
in.
zoom in on that right there? And you can
Completely
really
out.
see what Tom McCutcheon is getting done during the course of the day.
It is.
When he says, hey, I've got to go to the office, there's a pile of stuff I've got to get done.
It's hard work. It's hard work.
It's rough. That's fantastic.
It's like working in the mines.
So here's what I asked him for. I said, I need something of Tom, just whatever. I said, I really need when Joe fell off in the finals of the NRBC. Anybody got a picture of that
that's right.
anywhere?
Yeah.
And maybe whenever Gunny got dashboarded real good on one. And so I'd have some sort of an ammunition.
Oh, I have that picture.
Yeah, you got one of those?
You want me to text
Break
it to you?
out? Yeah.
I'll text it to
I'll
you.
take that bad boy. But that one was fantastic. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, me neither. And I don't know when they took that.
Oh, evidently there's been ample opportunities.
Yeah, AI. That's AI.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds good.
Grow the
Gunny,
show.
Go to
Grow
show.
the show.